guys, Dr. Kristie Ennis, physical therapist, certified strength and conditioning specialist, and nutritionist. And today I want to go over with you the best exercises you can do if you've got knee arthritis to help reduce some of that pain. Now, sometimes you're stuck in your house. Sometimes you just don't want to have surgery. It's not practical. You don't want to do it for whatever reason. There are some things that you can actually do to make that pain better. Now, typically arthritis gets bad because the bone surfaces, right, start to rub together. We can't fix that, but what happens when that occurs is that you start to lose mobility in the kneecap, in this bone down here called the tibia, and also some range of motion, okay? So the muscles start to get tightened, the tendons start to get tightened, and those are all things that you can work on. So the very first thing to know is that motion is lotion. Just repeat that to yourself over and over again. So if you happen to have a job where you sit a lot, or you just, sit a lot anyways, what you want to do, at least every half hour, is try to get a little bit of mobility. So if you've got some, and actually it's good to do with both sides anyway, so even just little leg kickouts are a great way to get a little bit of blood flow going in there. You can do little pull-aparts, either without a band or with a band. And then even adding a little bit of a hamstring stretch in there. Notice I'm bringing my chest forward. So these are all great things to do seated. Another one would be a little bit of a march. So again, every half hour, trying to do 5 or 10 repetitions of something to keep that fluid moving so things don't get stuck. You probably notice that if you've been sitting for a while, or if you've been lying down for a while, you go to get up and it's like, oh, super duper stiffness, right? So that is what we're trying to prevent. And then the other thing to do when you're sitting, I'm going to pull out my Derma Edge. This is actually an invention that I created, and it is available on my website. But if you try to get in there, and you're going to go either up or down, depending on which direction feels like you got a little bit more bumpy, through the calf, the adductor, or that groin inner thigh muscle, the quad, and even the hamstring. And all you're doing, you're just going, do a little test, see which way feels bumpier, go in that direction. It's a very gentle motion. And what you're doing is getting that fluid unstuck so that those layers glide together a little bit better. And you can even add a little range of motion afterwards, do a little can-can. From there, I'm going to get down onto the ground. So usually where people struggle is that switch to this leg, knee flexion or knee extension. Usually people are kind of stuck up like this, and they have a hard time getting that knee bent all the way. So what we're going to do, what you're going to do, is take a little towel, roll it up. I'm going to lie right down on my back. I'm going to place this underneath that knee. Now what this is going to do is help to gap that knee joint so it actually moves a little bit better. So if this is as far as you can go, you stop there. If you can apply a little pressure to that knee, you go ahead and do so. Hold for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then let it relax. You can bring it a little closer. These are not supposed to hurt, okay? Just remember that. Be gentle with your body. That's important. From there, you can do this next one either on the ground, or if you're sitting on a chair, you can put your leg up on another chair. I'm going to use the same towel roll, though, so that I can elevate my foot a little bit. And so usually what I see is this, right? This flexion in that knee. So we're going to help to move that. So I am going to take a sheet. You can take a strap, a sheet, a belt, and I'm just going to pull it to the side so you can see it. I'm going to pull up on that foot at the same time that I'm pressing down right above that kneecap. And my knee goes nice and straight because I don't have knee arthritis, but a lot of times you'll kind of stop here. And again, you want to do this nice and gentle, so push down as much as you can as you're pulling up on that foot, and then let it go. Pull and push at the same time, okay? You can still get benefit even if you don't do the little pull with it, but I like that because then you're stretching the calf out too, which tends to get tight with all of this stuff, all right? Now, the other issue I tend to see is some tightness in the hip and some weakness in the hip. So I'm going to go onto my side here. This is my favorite one for strengthening up these side muscles. Go right onto your side. When you look down, you'll know you're in the right position if you can see your toes and a little bit of your feet, but not the whole leg. So here would be way too far forward. Here's the right spot. Lift it a little bit away from that floor. And then I'm going to just lift that top leg. And I'm aiming for the heel so that I really know that I'm using this versus these front muscles. And I'm just going to back up a touch so you can see my foot there a little better in my fabulous socks. Yeah. So shoot for 15 to 20 repetitions of those. And then I'm going to stand on up again. And we want to stretch that hip flexor out. Now, if you've got knee arthritis, this one's usually a little easier to do standing than it is sitting. So I'm going to stretch this hip. This knee's going to bend. I'm going to do a little bit of a pelvic tilt, right? I'm pushing that hip forward, and then I'm coming forward. So I'm stretching all of this out. You can, if you've got the flexibility and mobility, put that other foot up on a chair and then add that pelvic tilt in, but sometimes this is a little bit too much. It's great balance work too. See, gotta stand there, not move. 30 seconds or a minute, a few times a day as well. And that is because those muscles actually, at least one of those hip flexor muscles attaches all the way into that knee. So stretching the calf where you were doing with the other one is important. And then if you want to add a hamstring stretch, instead of just the seated one, you can do up on a chair. And again, you can do it lower too. You can do it on a step and then bringing that chest forward. Try not to get a moving chair like me. There we go. So, did you hear my knee snap a little bit there too? So those are some ways that you can work on fixing your pain yourself. Get the mobility back, get the range of motion back, and then strengthen up everything around it to help you out. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button and stay tuned for more. Thanks.